Hello everyone, my name is Gibbs and welcome back to another video. And today we're doing something that we seem to always do around this time of year at this point in time. Also, it's the start of a new podcast. Well, I say new. It's restarting a podcast that I did a few years ago called the Gibbs Corner. We talked about everything. Mainly, it started as a gaming podcast, but then it sort of turned into wrestling mainly. And today, we're going to be doing that because we are going to be talking about Wrestlemania 42. Everything surrounding it, everything going on, all the situations, all the issues, all the good things, all the bad things. Everything you can think of. And I'm joined by Jack, of course.
Hello. Hello.
And the only man that I can think of that's fitting to be, not Lee, fitting to be in this situation. With me discussing this situation, this build, everything to do with WrestleMania 42. That is our Emmanuel behind Jack. There's not a random man staring at him. There is a reason behind that picture. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania 42. I've got some categories. We're going to go through all of them and discuss each individual and try and talk about certain things in those categories and in order of what I've done. So we will go through that. I think we'll start off with the WrestleMania 32 with the overall build to WrestleMania. I think I'll start with you, Jack, because I think you have some venting to go off your chest. I think this is probably the best category to even talk about that. But let's see.
So we came into the new year, and I think things were looking pretty strong for WrestleMania. I think some of the rumored matches and whatnot, and you're seeing it play out on TV. My first red flag, I would say, would have been Roman winning the Rumble. I thought it was quite a surprise winner. I think everyone in the wrestling community thought it was a little bit of a not a down, I would say, but a bit of a, I didn't kind of expect that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think I'm assuming that Roman was going to go part time or not be around much. So it was a bit of a big surprise. So I think everyone assumed he was going to go for Cody. So that was the rumor. They were going to do Roman Cody 3, but apparently that got scratched. I think it was the right idea. I think we've seen Punk and Roman and Cody. Out. We've seen it. We've been there, done it. I think they've told their story. I think so. I think Roman go for Punk's been quite a good starting point. I think for the year. My main issue, as you probably know, is I think the lack of storyline, commitment, progression, build. So if I look at, for example, Brock and Obafemi, great match. I'm looking forward to that match. The build's been good for how they've done it, but the way they started, I thought could have been done better. It just felt so random. Oh, Brock's going to be appearing on Raw, and we're going to find he's going to be facing. Well, hang on a minute. Why not? Oba was in the Rumble. Why not start with Brock, Oba, chucking Brock out the ring? Build from there a little bit, have a reason why they're gonna clash, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some matches I think have just been like randomly announced with no actual backstory. So I think of the IC ladder match, it's just gonna be a great match.
Yeah.
But for far as I can tell, there's been no actual sort of storyline build with these guys together. They said it was just a main event matches. Or main event, the winners were in a ladder match with no actual, build or no sort of spotlight on these guys. So that's a bit annoying. If I look at also there's been some injuries with Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, so obviously plans do change. I get that. I think Seth and Gunther's an example. I think anyway, where it could be a good match, but just so random. It's just sort of thrown together for no reason. Seth and Gunther really got no major backstory. Obviously they've made it now with their Paul owes Gunther a favour. Probably a bit of a title shot probably. But it just feels like, we need to get the guys on the car. We'll just put Seth and Gunther together.
Yeah.
Because considering for Gunther how he's momentum-wise, I think it's been totally derailed. Retiring John Cena, which is a whole other topic, retiring AJ Styles, and where's he gone after that? He's going to fight with Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the plans were he was going to retire Rey Mysterio, which could have been okay, but if those two big wins, you'd be right on the main scene.
Yeah,
so I feel like that's been a little bit crap, if I'm honest. I think the builds in general have been mediocre at best. If I look at Punk and Roman, it's been good. It's starting to get good. I said the first sort of 3 weeks, it felt just the same, it was just verbal bashing, verbal bashing, verbal bashing, verbal bashing. Nothing really was
Yeah.
happening. It's starting to get better now. I think storyline wise, probably the best one I think it's been
Hmm.
most consistently. I'd say. So that build's been okay. Um, we look on SmackDown for Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, which we'll get into at some point
Yeah.
in this. The build for that I think has been atrocious. It's just so many pivots at the moment. There's been no. It feels like they're doing it on a whim kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to have your main matches locked in by November. So January comes around, you can start straight away. It just feels like they're always chopping and changing and pivoting with new things. And the fact that some stars are not on WrestleMania, I think it's astonishing, if I'm honest. So Io
Hmm.
Sky, Tiffany Strand, nowhere to be seen.
There are rumours that Io Sky and Asuka are going to be added.
I did hear about that, so you hope that will come true. But again, it's a week before WrestleMania. It's
It's
like last
annoying that
minute,
that's
isn't it?
not been. Yeah.
Why not? They had a great story with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, their friendship and Asuka getting
Hmm.
jealous. They could have built on that, but they leave it for about 2 months, and then we'll just announce it with WrestleMania. There's no reason for me to care about it.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, match wise, it'll be good, but for me to like a match, I've got to care about it.
Yeah.
If I don't care about it, I'll say it's a good match, but I'll forget about it the next day. I will never watch it
Yeah.
ever again. So those are my overall. I think the bill's been atrocious. I think there's no consistency. Plans are changing. It feels rushed. It feels lazy as well. So I think it's probably one of the worst builds to WrestleMania in the last 5 years.
Yeah. I've just got to try and add on that. There's not much I can say. What I will say is, I think something that you didn't touch on, which kind of comes to my point about so for example, Ray and Gunther. The plan was Ray and Gunther were going to have a match, obviously WrestleMania, probably a retirement type of match. I don't know what
Mm,
that would have meant if actually Ray was going to retire or not, or if Gunther was
mm,
going to lose. But my issue is, it kind of stems from that. They never plan on backup plans. They have the ideas in their head what they want to do, which a big example of Ray Gunther and Seth and Braun although long time ago. They have no backup plan to what they want those guys to do. The immediate impact of Ray being like probably injured towards WrestleMania but being cleared to have this ladder match was they should have had a backup plan for Gunther to face. They should have had someone that he could face afterwards, because this is what I mean by, I talked to you about this obviously off screen about him destroying Dragon Lee for weeks. I
yeah,
thought the reason for that was because they were going to end up doing Ray and Gunther, which I think they were going to. But now they didn't, and that makes no fucking sense. Or apart from he was AJ Styles' tag team partner for a bit, and now
yeah.
that made no sense. And then you've randomly had him off for weeks, and then he's back on to then being against Seth with Paul Heyman. It just feels so not Gunther to me.
Mm,
It feels like, what, you paying him to be your hitman? That doesn't
yeah.
feel like Gunther to me.
Gunther doesn't need a man, does it? Like a
No.
manager, he can be by
He
himself.
doesn't need that. Like, if you're going to have someone, at least have someone like you had him with Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. They made
Mm,
sense because they all fit him. It just didn't, yeah. So that didn't make any sense. And that's the issue. Like, pivot to pivots. Like, wrestling has been pivoted for years. People change their minds. Every booker has a plan in their head and they go, actually, I want to scrap that. But my issue is that they never have backup plans for those pivots. The pivots never make
no, I
sense
don't.
because they go, oh shit, the one guy we had from this point onwards has now been injured, which can happen because it's wrestling. Wrestling is not just going to stop injuries because it's just impossible. So they have no backup plan for those injuries. So then you're stuck in a situation where, oh, I don't know what we're doing, and then it's in a situation where the build makes no sense because the build isn't there anymore because the one guy they had in place is injured, which is so stupid for a multi-billion-dollar company to not have a backup plan for a storyline. Have you frozen? So yeah, the backup plan issue. They just don't have any plans, and how does a multi-billion-pound-dollar company not have a backup plan?
I agree.
It's
I agree.
it's crazy.
Another example I'd say is the Masked Man.
Yeah,
That just they just scrapped it again. They're not consistent with their ideas either, man. They're pivoting. But it's never like this before. 2 years ago,
no,
they're consistent. They knew 6 months ahead what they're going to be doing. But it just feels like now it's sort of they're doing it week to week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that is the biggest issue, and I think that's the biggest issue with the entire build together. So I think that's a good connecting point for the issue. Really, is the pivoting. It's the not really knowing what's going on, and the issues that comes from that. So we're gonna go to the next one, and it kind of builds on the overall build, because this is where we can kind of dive into each storyline, because this is booking. This is the booking of the show. I might start this one, because I think we'll start with the obvious one, which is Cody and Randy.
Before you lag out.
Yeah, quickly. Randy and Cody started off. I don't know really, in a weird way, because it kind of really kicked on with Randy turning heel. That was the moment that we kind of went, oh, we're not sure about that, because everybody is going to cheer Randy no matter what. It doesn't matter about Cody might be a bit stale, might not have got with the crowd still. But Randy is going to be cheered because everybody wants to cheer Randy. The time of booing Randy Orton is gone. That is gone for ages. People are going to cheer for the actual owner and Orton because people want to see that, but they want to see it in a face-like way, if you can do that. So that was the wrong move. I honestly would have preferred if Cody turned heel and used that as a lynch point. Because I don't know how in the world you go from this now to Cody turning heel later. I've got no idea how you do that. Because it makes no sense if he does. But yeah, it's just... That started off, and it was already going a bit... And it just felt like they had a story in place that they didn't even need to tell. And they just went the opposite way with it. Randy did the attack and bashed. Hello?
Randy, but can't tell that you no idea.
You're going in and out. It's impossible. Also, the fucking imagery of you right now is crazy. You're literally you're being taken by Harry Manuel. But yeah, I think they went the wrong way already with Randy turning heel. So that already didn't start off well. And just the way he turned heel doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. And then you get the call. He does the call. Right? Yeah. And he's talking about all this nonsense. And there's a picture of him and his dad. It's just... There's that, right? And then we get the other reveal of it being Pat McAfee. Which that man behind Jack was the sole reason that even happened or is happening. And then that's the booking. That's the big issue this year is TKO meddling with the booking, which seems to be happening every year. A big decision, big storyline every year. Mania season, they have to get their fucking fingers on the storyline, and it's absolutely irritable of a company that does this and makes it worse than it already fucking was. Nobody cares about Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Jelly Roll, and Pat McAfee. They care about Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton.
Absolutely correct. I agree.
It makes absolutely bonkers sense. You'll sell more tickets with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton if you sold them at a reasonable more price than if you did with fucking Jelly Roll in his corner.
100%. I agree.
But that is not my main issue, because we can talk about TKO getting involved with Triple H and all that nonsense. I would back Triple H more if the other storylines were booked better, but they're not. I think the second worst storyline that's been booked is Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. What on earth happened there? They had an absolute crazy Twitter exchange. They went in on each other. It wasn't even like, I genuinely think that was real, and they didn't do anything with that. They didn't do anything with that, and then they just started talking about themselves. Oh, it's the worst book storyline that is booked by Triple H. And that with Liv and Stephanie's not good either. Like, that feels so fucking weirdly vicious for no reason, real vicious. Like the amount of injuries and issues that has caused already by them being stupid. And It's just, it makes no sense. Oba and Brock and Roman and CM Punk, I think the only storyline that has really been booked within good reason. Every other storyline has had issues with booking, not had enough screen time for the booking, or been randomly thrown together.
We'll say all the same kind of repeat segments. Cody, Drew McIntyre, and Fatu. Every week it's the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fatu has a match. Drew McIntyre comes out, Claymore, he quits. He
Yeah.
comes back, and Claymore's him. It's
Yeah.
fucking. It's something different for once, you
Yeah.
know. Have a promo, have an intense promo segment, you know. Make me invested in what I'm watching.
Yeah. That is the biggest problem with the booking this year for Wrestlemania. None of the storylines have really, like, just don't care. Don't care about any of them. Apart from Oba and Brock and Roman and Punk. Everything else, in terms of actual meaning story-wise, have gone for me. Have actually gone for me. Finn and Dom, you've ruined a surprise. Which doesn't shock me, with it being the Demon.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't even have that just appear at Mania, which would have been better and bigger. But of course, they want to sell more tickets and smash up Night 2 because they make that make sense. It's all pointless. Everything's pointless.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I've got nothing to add. Really. If I go for each one of them again, if anything else to it, but I'd say what you said about Cody and Randy and Pat and Gerald was correct. You know my thoughts on that match. I think it's terrible. Randy turning heel again. I thought was a bit of a. I could see why they're doing it. I think because I think they still want to make Cody a babyface. I don't think they've got no plans on turning him heel. He'll be like the John Cena where they'll never pull the trigger on him for a long time until they get really desperate for it. So I think Randy was the wrong person. I think to turn heel on Cody Rhodes. I think having Pat McAfee involved was terrible. Really bad. He does terrible promos. It's for the reveal that was terrible. If you look at now the graphics from last night's SmackDown, Friday's SmackDown, he's centre stage and Randy's behind him. Hang on a minute. So you're telling me the two people I should focus on is Cody Rhodes and Pat McAfee, and Pat McAfee's digging at CM Punk in a separate storyline. So all overlapping here. I'm confused. What do I follow? Am I following Pat McAfee? No, exactly. Am I following Pat McAfee and CM Punk? Am I following Pat McAfee, Randy Orton, Cody J. Roll? Who am I meant to be, following on here? Just stick to one storyline. So overlapping these major storylines. Because now I'm thinking about Roman now because Pat's beefing CM Punk. So I'm more interested in seeing Pat McAfee and CM Punk go rather than Roman Reigns. So that's my first issue with it. The celebrity involvement, I just cannot understand why TKO are obsessed with the celebrity booking. They think that to make a good show we need celebrities. No, you don't. All you need is good wrestling, stories that care, that invest people. Because if you look at, for example, the biggest wrestling match in my ever would have been Rock and Hogan. That had no celebrity involvement. If you watch that match back and watch that feud back, that was crazy. Everyone was it was like glued to your screen. No celebrity involvement.
No.
If you look at Shawn Michaels Undertaker, that trilogy they had between 26 to 28 WrestleManias. No, Shawn, Triple H. That was a great story, told beautifully. No celebrities. When they do involve celebrities, I think in matches it doesn't really go well. If you look at this, what's the name? Snooki. Remember Snooki?
Yeah.
She had that tag team match that was terrible with Morrison and Trish Stratus. That was terrible. I mean, in my opinion, any celebrity will never be a wrestler. In my view, to be a wrestler, you've got to be committed and you've got to be fully in. You can't dip in and out like Gerald dips in, goes in at some of them and dips out till.
One thing I give credit to Logan Paul. He isn't a celebrity anymore. He is a wrestler.
No, and I like his wrestling. He's a good wrestler. He's a good heel. So I don't mind Logan Paul. I can live with it a little bit. My other issue is the sponsoring with his company.
Yeah.
I think he does use WWE to his company, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got a passion I don't think he loves wrestling. He loves it, but I don't think he loves the art of wrestling booking. I don't think he does anyway. So that's my first issue with that storyline. But look at Punk and Roman. I would say it's been okay. It's been quite good actually. Towards the end, it's been a little bit. It got a bit stale at the start, which but was it Punk was making shots at Roman, and Roman wasn't firing shots back at Punk.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Roman then mentioned his wife, but Punk didn't get annoyed, but he got annoyed about Roman calling him old, which didn't make no
Yeah.
sense. So if someone mentions your wife, you get, oh, it's getting
Yeah.
personal. But I think getting personal and real is good
Yeah.
because if I look at the Unreal show, when Tiffany got real about Charlotte's divorces and
Yeah.
she was only got to apologize to her, can't do that. Why not?
Yeah.
Bring real life into it. It makes you go, makes you interested in the story.
Yeah.
So yeah, story involvement I hate. I think booking Archer Speed in a match for his debut at WrestleMania, I think's quite insulting. I
Yeah.
think to wrestlers who are there all year are not getting a chance.
Mhm.
Again, they think bringing Archer Speed in will get more eyes on the show, and it may do now they're on a global stage. But I think if you book an amazing card with a good build, not every show is going to hit, but
Mhm.
these shows are so crucial now. You have to
Yeah.
knock out the ballpark, as they say, for these shows. You can't afford to have bad shows in the first WrestleMania because it's going to affect people's thoughts on the show. I think it
Yeah.
will. Um, so the booking's been, and also the booking's been really half. I think lazy on having a celebrity is very
Yeah.
lazy.
It
It's a
is.
lazy way of booking it, and having Emmanuel getting involved in wrestling. He's got no experience in booking wrestling shows. He's got no experience running a wrestling company.
Mhm.
Is shocking to me.
Yeah.
It really is shocking, and I don't know how. Well, he's the boss, but I don't know how they think that's a good idea. From what I can see and gather, is the Triple H and the Crazy are not a big fan of it. But what I don't
Yeah.
understand is the promo that Pat McAfee did about don't watch night two. Apparently they okayed the promo. Why
Mhm.
would you okay a promo about saying don't watch night two? It's gonna be shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna placing it. I don't understand that. I just don't understand how that's meant to be counterintuitive in the sense of it's going to help sell tickets. Apparently, it's not. Apparently, they sold 1,000 tickets this
Mhm.
week. That's terrible. And we've got tons and tons of tickets left
Yeah.
to sell. So I think this is the start of the, I wouldn't say it's demise, but I think the signs to think that there is now, TK. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
well, we've got all those ticket prices, you know, to a sensible level, because it was never this bad prior to
No.
TKO. It was always for the fans, but now it's for the rich fans, the people like you and me who've got a fucking arm and a leg to go,
Yeah.
going on to get an okay view. I think it's disgraceful.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this is going to be the start of something. But the booking, I think, has been terrible. And to me, it will affect how I watch the show because
Mhm.
you can have a great match, but if the booking's terrible, I'm not going to be as interested.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
agree.
my thoughts.
There's not much more I can say on that, for sure. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the overall feeling going into WrestleMania. So what are we sort of going into? What are we thinking about? And I'll leave Jack to give you the info on that one.
So for me, going into WrestleMania, um, lackluster, no excitement. Um, I think if you look at the builds of the matches, they're not great. People aren't really excited for them. They're just more excited to slag off the matches. Also, I think people are just fed up of bad booking and silly, stupid mistakes. I think it's not good. Ridiculous prices. People know now it's getting how much money it costs to go just to get WrestleMania tickets, not including your flights, your hotels, your travel accommodation, your food, go to all the wrestling events that are out there. Um, it's quite insulting me the prices. Um, I'd say this WrestleMania is probably the worst one compared to last year in terms of build. Um, I sense people are looking forward for the show to be over in the sense of get past this and see how it goes after WrestleMania. I would say I'm probably in that boat. I think I can't wait to be. I've got no excitement because we sit here. It's 6 days away, and I'm not fussed if I'll watch it or not. I'm honest. So I think I'll pass and just watch it, later. Um, so yeah, those are my thoughts. I think the excitement levels are quite low. High prices are just bringing down fans' interest and excitement. People just more fed up of terrible booking. So yeah, so I think overall not great for me. My feeling, I think on a scale of 1 to 10 of excitement, 4. 4 probably.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. I think I think everyone's feeling the same way. I think everyone's feeling that, you know, the same issue that everyone else is feeling. It's just the overall morale of the company is not in a good place. So going into the biggest show of their year, they're gonna, whatever they rack up, they're gonna tell you how much they made. You know, and it's just gonna, it just doesn't feel like, because it's such a pivoted build, such a Tico meddling in the stories. It just doesn't feel like Mania's gonna be like. I will tell you now, I guarantee you, 9 out of 10 of those matches, maybe 7 or 8, will be genuinely really good matches. But at the end of it, I think most people are going to have your view, Jack, in the sense that good show, but it's not going to ever compare to any others because none of the stories actually made anyone care.
No, and I think if you give it 6 months from now, I'll be shocked if anyone's going to remember anything good from WrestleMania or think that was great.
And I'll tell you what, the biggest example of this is last year's WrestleMania. Night 2 of WrestleMania was genuinely a good night of wrestling. Apart from the main event, which then tarnished that whole show. No one really cared about WrestleMania anymore because that match was so bad. Because the story going into it was a little bit icky already. And then you go to Mania, and the whole Travis Scott situation was that. And that just went to shit. And nobody cared because that match didn't mean anything. And then Cena went on this terrible heel run. So no one actually cares about the main event anymore. And it's everything feels that way this year.
I know. I look back and think, I said to you, if Pat McAfee gets involved in this, it's going to happen. Obviously, Jay was going to be in the corner of Cody Rhodes, so immediately it gets a negative reaction from me, negative thoughts from me. But I worry now, just because of that, all this Pat McAfee CM Punk stuff, could he get involved in night 2 in the main event?
Yeah, I know.
So that's just putting the foot. If that does, the whole show, both of them will get a negative reaction, a negative score from me because in main events like that, interference just ruins it. Main event should be a conclusive victor loser. You know, I feel like in this Cody Rhodes match, also the rumor was apparently at Backlash they're going to tag team Cody, Jelly Roll, Randy, Pat McAfee. So immediately Pat's going, if Randy loses, you'll never see me again in WWE. If those rumors are true, I'm expecting Randy to get the belt. It's predictable. Yeah. And you look at the Unreal documentary that Triple H goes, when it becomes, predictable, we're going to pivot. And literally, you've not even followed your own ideas and your own thought process of it. You've not pivoted once at all. You pivoted in the sense of you've been forced to from other people. But now, I feel like it becomes predictable. You've got to pivot again.
Yeah.
Because I'm expecting Randy to win the belt now. Because if Randy loses the belt, what's the point of the heel turn then?
I know.
It's been you had no one for Cody to face. Really, you should have kept the belt. I think, looking back now, I'd rather if Drew had a decent run as the world as champion, which is another kettle of fish, that Drew McIntyre title belt. What a joke that was. They should just done the build from that January period all the way to now. I think they're going to go for like a steel cage or Hell in a Cell or something. Mm-hmm. That would have been great, I think. Courage man, that could have been quite a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Drew can. I think Drew's a good heel. He can make it quite personal.
He can, yeah.
I think he would like to remember with Punk into the band with his dog, Punk's dog, and AJ's name on it. So I think you could have done that with Cody Rhodes. That could be quite a good match, but unfortunately, no. I think WWE now I think it's the worst it's ever been in terms of they don't care what any of us think.
Yeah.
You like what we like, and we're gonna give that to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I still feel like LA Knight gets good reactions. He's in a tag match, the Usos, but he's been in that feud for so long. Let's give him something new.
Yeah.
Let's end these fucking 50-year-long feuds. Let's just start. Start from the beginning. Have different rivalries. Those kind of things. The fans still love LA Knight. I'm not even being biased. You look at the reactions he gets.
Mm-hmm.
They're solid reactions after 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. Normally, people start to die down. Cody Rhodes, since Cody Rhodes been back, he's already getting booed by the fans. And that's not been booed by the fans, isn't he?
No,
because he's a fan favourite. He's like a Daniel Bryan type thing, where they're always going to get behind him, unless they tell him heel. But I think people like that are not getting their limelight. But I'm hoping that there could be some surprises with Bron Breakker, maybe.
Yeah.
Could he cost Seth the match? That I'll be interested to see and that could help the show. I think with surprise returns like
Yeah.
that. So fingers crossed because I feel like that show will need it. And then you got from WrestleMania to SummerSlam, I think, to build. Braun Breaker. Don't rush it. That's the match, but it's going to hit like one of the headliner
Yeah.
matches at SummerSlam. So overall, there could be some good moments that come out of the show, but unfortunately for me, it's going to get
Yeah.
because I'm a big building. I love builds to matches.
Yeah.
I can't watch a match and just care about and love it.
No.
I have to be invested in it and think this story's been great. Finally going to see the conclusion, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to see that. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next topic, which was going to be our favourite story. Not favourite match, because at WrestleMania we might have a match that feels better. When we're watching it might be a better match, but our favourite story going into it. Jack, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah. The most favorite match I liked would have been Brock and Ober. I think, even though the start was a bit random, it's been the most consistent. I think what I have to do at WrestleMania is it's got that like excitement feel when the segments start. I think Brock and Ober are a perfect match. I think Paul was quite good. I like the brawl. The only negative I found was that they did the brawl. They did the brawl. They didn't do what I said was use the superstars to come out and break up the fight.
Yeah.
They just had like the producers and Triple H had to sort of give out a little bit. Understandable, I suppose. That's a good match. And then Punk and Roman interest has been quite good in that. Be interesting to see who's actually going to go over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my two.
Yeah. I don't know if I disagree with either of them. Brock and Ober, I think, has been the most consistent story. It's the one that has the most WrestleMania feel about it. The most hype going into it, I think, over Punk and Roman for me. Like, in terms of, like, everyone being hyped for it, everyone has kind of said they agree with that. And then, yeah, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, I think it's got a good story, they've got history, it makes sense. I think it will be a pretty good match as well. If it will feel... I think I'm kind of glad it's on night 2, because I think night 2 is going to absolutely wipe the floor with night 1.
Yeah.
And so I feel like once we get night 1 over with, you get to night 2, you feel a bit more better about it. It feels like a better card. You feel a bit more like, oh, this night might be a really good night of wrestling, and then you get to the main event, which feels better than the last one. So I just think overall that's going to feel much better. So yeah, Roman, Punk and Ober and Brock for me. I also think I'm going to look forward to Finn and Dom as well. I think I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I agree actually. Yeah, I've got on. Yeah, I agree on.
Yeah, I think overall that's the favourite matches. We're gonna go to some like sort of predictions for matches. We're not gonna go through the whole card because I'll be here till next year. But I just thought we'll go through some match predictions. So we'll do Ober and Brock first. Who do you think will win that one?
Ober Femi, I think.
I think Ober Femi will as well. I think Brock will take this loss and then go towards his last one at SummerSlam, whenever that might be. But yeah, I agree. Ober with that one. Roman and Punk.
I would say CM Punk.
I'm going to go Roman.
Do you think a clean win over CM Punk?
Clean, I don't know, but I don't know what that means. But I do think Roman might win. I think they're going to have him hold the title for a bit. I don't know how he's going to do that. If he's going to be off screen, on screen. I don't really know what's going on with him in that.
I don't know. That's why I've gone for Punk. For if he's committing a bit more, he's going like.
They might need him to commit as well. But,
yeah, if you're going to go part time, part time champions don't work out well, really.
No, but doesn't mean they won't do it. I'll go with Roman, I think, on that one. I'm trying to think. Is there Cody and Randy? Do you care?
Again, from what I've seen in the news, it seems a bit to ball. It was Randy that's going to win it.
Yeah.
I'd say Randy, just the fact that they're going to do a tag match at Backlash probably, so I'll probably say that one.
I agree. I think Randy will win that one. And then we'll go with Rhea and Jade.
I think Rhea needs to win it.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Jade's run's been terrible.
Yeah, it's been
absolutely champion.
The worst run, I think.
Terrible champion. Terrible promo.
Yeah.
So,
now, next topic. bit of a different one. Kind of, it does stem from WrestleMania. I think I might have a very different take on it than Jack might. But how we feel overall about wrestling at the moment.
So I'll do it in bullet points. WWE, looking at WWE first, I'd say I don't like celebrity involvement. To me, it takes the eyes away from the wrestlers, the spotlight. The spotlight should be on Courage Randy or not J-Rob, Pat McAfee. I think it's quite lazy. You don't need celebrities to make a good show, really, in my opinion. Build a good storyline, you get eyes on it, I think. I don't mind celebrities steps at a certain time. So Trick Williams and this rapper, I think that kind of works. You said about yesterday, I think it does kind of work. It's not. They're not making another star. They're trying to make Trick Williams the star, but he's like sort of. Again, I get why he's there, but I don't see why he needs to be there.
And he's the weak link in that story. He's been taken down by Sammy. It's not like he's like the supreme Shane McMahon best in the world type.
Which I get, but I just feel like does he really need to be there for Trick Williams?
No, I agree.
Put it by himself. My love for the WWE is getting less. So I'm just fed up with TKO putting their fingers in the pie as such. Just stay out, own the company, but just get out, stay out. It's nothing to do with you. Emmanuel, this guy having no actual experience booking a wrestling show, got no idea what he's doing. He couldn't book a show to save his life. That's bad. Desperation, TKO, faking you. Patton goes, I'm a heel, but I'm giving you half discounts on Saturday WrestleMania. Please come to please put the graphic up in the corner for 25 minutes so you can scan the QR code. Be desperate for numbers. That's just embarrassing. And I think overall in general, the product is trash. If I look at other companies, so like your TNAs, your AAAs, your NXTs, your AWs, they're doing quite well. They're doing it all. I think they're all ticking the boxes with to do right. So good storyline, good matches. Consistency, picking fans' interest. Even though I don't watch AAA, I think they're doing quite well with social media buzz and whatnot. TNA seems to be doing quite okay considering. AW seems to be picking up quite a lot of momentum at the moment. So for wrestling in general, I'd say it's in a good place. But for WWE, it's not in a good place.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fans are going to start dipping. I'll be like becoming more casual now.
Yeah.
You have your hardcore fans who just live and breathe it.
Yeah.
I was one of those, but now I might start dipping in and out.
Yeah.
Of WWE. See how it goes.
Yeah. I think my take on it is very different. So I'm into AW. My issue, maybe since before this year, was it was very quite hard to access it in UK. This year they have improved that with the MyAW sort of website
Streaming,
the streaming service essentially for the company. It's a lot easier to access on UK, and pay-per-views are always on Amazon Prime anyway, so they're quite easy to get in the UK. So my overall is I've got no issue with AEW. I think they're doing well. I think they're very good. I think they prioritise the wrestlers. Ironically, the day we're filming this, they've actually got a pay-per-view called Dynasty, which is looking like a really good card. It's got seven or 9 matches. I think 7. They prioritise their wrestlers. They don't, they might have a couple of celebrity involvements, but that was a long time ago. And they don't make them the main event scene. WWE, I've said this clear with Jack, that after WrestleMania, I might not watch. My overall enjoyment of watching WWE has gone completely downhill. I don't even want to watch NXT because it still feels too much like WWE. Even I said this last time I watched the pay-per-view for NXT. Even Triple H can't even get himself out of that picture and has to put his name on the ending of that as well. So it feels like it just feels too alike. So I can't even be like, oh, I want to support NXT when the main company is basically like it anyway. It promotes that too much. TNA again. The issue with TNA has too much of a partnership with WWE. Even much so that they are actually now blocking their wrestlers from appearing on other shows because they might have AEW wrestlers on them. There's a big thing that Nick Nemeth was supposed to face MJF, but the TNA president stopped it and blocked it, either because of his overall mind or because WWE blocked him from doing it. So they're still got ties in it. AAA has been bought by WWE. So no matter how you look at it, everything you see on AAA is being published or promoted by WWE. So there's still that. My issue is WWE is still a monopoly. They still want to control the wrestling space. And they are making problematic decision after problematic decision. It has become a bit of a problem. Every time I see something from WWE, I just get more and more annoyed and think less enjoyment of it. So I want to get WrestleMania done, and then I think that might be me over, unless they do something at Mania, which I don't suspect. They might turn the corner. But I think that's when my end of enjoyment of WrestleMania, WWE in itself goes.
At the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
As it stands.
Yeah, I agree with those points. Don't really disagree with you on that, really. To be honest with you. It needs, or just say it needs a complete reset after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Big reset. Will they do that? I don't know. I think it's gonna be the same old now until things get really desperate.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
I mean, the next topic we've got kind of comes from that anyway. It says general thoughts. So Jack's kind of touched on the celebrity interference. There's too much of it, and not only is it too much of it, they're the main focal point of the story. Even in the most recent one with Speed, he is the main point in that story. When you think about it, the only reason they're at Mania is because he's there. I don't think they'd even be at WrestleMania if it wasn't for Speed, which is an issue. The bad ideas is the stupid storylines that they try and pull off. This Pat McAfee story, the nonsense they try and spew, and the gaslighting that WWE do are crazy. We're trying to make you feel like this is what the company was 2 years ago. And like there was a big thing about Punk's promo that really sort of got me in the wrong way, was when he was talking about Roman and, you know, building that match up, and he said that Roman was in cinema and he's in professional wrestling. If I'm honest, Punk, and I love you, I've literally got a shirt with you, I would much rather be in cinema right now than in this era of professional wrestling that you're in. Yeah. Because at least then you had compelling stories, you had weekly constant storytelling shows that felt like you want to watch it. It felt like you were going into it. And even then, we can't even go back and look on that in glory, because the man that we all wanted out, that has done so much shit in this business, had his hands over anyway. So even then you look at that and go, did we even want to enjoy that? Because the man we thought was behind it wasn't even behind it. It's just so bad. Yeah, it's just, and the vibe is so down on WWE right now, and I don't know how they're going to get it up.
Hard work, I think, and it's going to be possible to do that. So, no, all the points, I just hear the points that what happened to just, you know, two guys in a rivalry fight for something and you get your result. Now it's so complicated. We'll bring two guys, and then we'll bring another couple of guys, and then we're going to pivot this, and then we're going to add these two people in, and then we're going to change. What's happened to having two guys, you know, you win the Rumble, you pick his opponent, you feud, that's it. Just don't let them pivot to other things.
Yeah.
You know, keep my interest on just that one thing. When you're pivoting between, I'm getting curious on what I'm meant to be interested in. Pat McAfee, CM Punk, Pat McAfee, Cody Rhodes, what I'm meant to be interested in. What do you want me to follow, Dodie? What do you want me to, you know, react to? No, it's not clear. So yeah, I agree with those points. Overall, they're in shit street. Can they get out of it? We'll find out this coming weekend.
Indeed. So yeah, that is our thoughts, that is our opinions, that is our talk on WrestleMania 42. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and little plug note, this hopefully will be a monthly podcast on this channel, talking either about wrestling, depending on what happens after me, or just general talking points on the world that we sit on. That could get very interesting, depending on what we talk about.
Politics.
Yeah, there we go. That'll be interesting. But yeah, that is our overall plan and hopefulness at the moment. Some might be in person, some might be like this. But yeah, we will talk a bit more about that in the future. But of course, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, Comment down below what your thoughts are on the build, on the show, on everything going on in wrestling at the moment. And don't forget to subscribe. Until the next one, ta-la.